Assalamualaikum and very good morning to all of the ICIRMEST January 2023. I am Dr. Siti Fatimah Muhammad Kassim from UNITA. Is going to present on the topic of research survey distribution during the pandemic, equity crowdfunding platform as the authority of senders and using a plea for help. Part of the researcher or the author's thesis, okay. The background of the studies. The study investigated equity crowdfunded firms from 2016 and 2000 until 2019. Equity crowdfunding has been introduced to Malaysian market since 2015. The market is monitored by the government's agency, Security Commission of Malaysia. So basically, there are three financial-based crowdfunding monitored by Security Commission Malaysia: equity crowdfunding, P2P and real estate crowdfunding. All these platforms must have the license from the Security Commission prior conducting their businesses. Okay, this is the equity crowdfunding platform. Okay, the list of the equity crowdfunding platform. Okay, the equity crowdfunding platform main role is to connect the investors, either the sophisticated investor or the retail investors, and the issuers or the SME. Okay, the equity crowdfunding is where the issuer grants their shares to the for the money they receive from the investors. The investors will receive the dividend when the business making profit. Okay, the second one is the P2P or lending crowdfunding. Okay, the lending or P2P crowdfunding, the main role also connecting the investors and the issuer. However, the business model is different from the former. Okay, from the name you can guess that the issuer is receiving loan from the investors. The issuer is liable to pay the principal and also the interest. Okay. Okay, the third one is real estate crowdfunding. Basically, their business model is some sort like the lending mechanism. So the objective of the study is to investigate the internal and external resources impact on the equity crowdfunding funded firms' performance. The internal resources are working capital management, accounting information system, financial analysis and reporting, and also the financial planning and control. Whereas the external components including social network, equity crowdfunding platform, and also the mediation of the business intelligence. Okay, the research methodology used in this study, okay, the research was conducted based on the positivism epistemology. The type of the study is experimental and descriptive, where the data was collected using the survey questionnaire. It is purposive sampling that focus on the successful equity crowdfunding issuer from 2016 until 19. The unit analysis of the study are those firms that have been successfully obtained the equity crowdfunding funding from the 2016 until 2019. Initially, the author planned to distribute the questionnaire personally and to get the feedback face-to-face. However, due to MCO and work from home, the author has modified the hard copy version to the electronic version. Prior to this, the researcher used telephone and email, but the responses are too low. Okay, the positivism is described as traditionalist, objective, and experimentalist, using the quantitative approach to understand a phenomenon. Thus, this study chooses positivism as the philosophical paradigm as it matches the spirit of this research. Therefore, the deductive approach is more relevant to this study. Non-probability, also known as the purposive sampling method, enables the researcher to disseminate the questionnaire directly to individuals who possess the required information. In this study, they are referred to the successful issuer. Okay. The quantitative approach. This study examined the performance of the firm that received funding via equity crowdfunding. Performance measures the survival and death of the firm. Scientific research is needed to study the performance of the firm. Most researchers frequently use scientific approaches to derive solutions to solve problems, either in applied research or basic research. According to Sakaran and Boogie 2016, qualitative research is unable to provide generalizability. Thus, it is important to conduct the same study on other firms, okay, with different settings. Okay. A qualitative researcher is unable to predict the consequences of the research. Okay. Thus, she or he may conduct interview session or collect answers from open-ended questions to know the result. However, when the researcher can expect the outcome, quantitative and descriptive or causal research is the best option. Okay. So what is the scientific research? There are 8 characteristics of scientific research. Okay. First, the purposive, meaning it has a goal to achieve. Okay. For example, in this study, they want to know the performance of the equity crowd-funded firm in Malaysia. Okay, the rigor, follow thorough investigation, testability. The hypothesis created for the research must be testable. Replicability, the hypothesis created can be repeated in the same type of research elsewhere. Precision and confidence, nearness to the reality and high probability of findings correctness. Objectivity, the result derived from the actual data, not based on the researcher emotional interpretation or subjective view. Okay. Generalizability, the validity of the research findings to other organizational situation of surrounding. Okay, the higher generalizable of one research increases its usefulness and value. Last but not least, parsimony, easy and simple in explaining the phenomenon that occur. The authority of senders. Okay, the authority using the authority name in the title of the email or the body of the email, or using the authority signature. But in this study, the researcher or the author used the authority's email. Okay. Okay, there is a few few studies here. Okay, agreed that AOS increased the respondent, whereas another also have finding that AOS did not increase the respondent. Okay, plea for help. Okay. Plea for help is used the asking help from the respondent. Okay, there is a study from Petrovic, Patrice, and Rosa Manfred 2016 found that plea for help was effective for eliciting responses in email invitation. Same also from the previous study by Grove, Claudini, Cooper in 1992. Okay, the response rate for this study. Initially, the researcher planned to complete the survey distribution and get the feedback in 6 months time from April 20 to September 20. However, only 5 responded respond to the survey. Due to MCO and working from home, and taken the equity crowdfunding platform feedback, e-survey using Google Form has been used. The researchers chosen end of May 2001 as a closing date, and the response rate increased from 0.02 to 43.72%. Okay, before this, the study by Liu and Wronski 2017 highlight that length of survey and the complexity of the questionnaire are important. The longer the time to finish the survey and the complicated the questions to understand, the lesser the respondent want to participate. In fact, according to Ramaya, okay, only 10 to 20% response rate is normal under Malaysian survey research atmosphere. Okay, these are the respondent demographic of the study. Okay. Okay, going to the discussion from the researcher's viewpoint, the method using AOS and plea is one of the way to solve the issue of lower response rate. This method particularly suited, especially when the research are conducted during the crisis, okay, or MCO working from home. It can also be used under normal situation since the technological advancement able to increase web response. The researcher emphasized that the result from the study is in line with the previous study. Okay, the AOS in this study referring to equity crowdfunding platform, have played an important role to motivate and encourage its respondents to participate in the survey. Perhaps it could be the reputational and trust in the equity crowdfunding platform that positively encourage the participation of the respondents. Finally, the quantitative research should be able to read the surrounding and select and make use which method can be accommodated with their study in order to increase the response rate. Okay, for the future research on equity crowdfunding and other types of crowdfunding such as loan-based or estate-based can fully utilize AOS and plea to obtain higher response rate. Okay, in Malaysia, financial-based crowdfunding market is increasingly even during the pandemic. Okay, while COVID-19 depict a lot of unpleasant things according to businesses and entrepreneurs, the crowdfunding market demonstrates the opposite. Thank you very much to all the listeners.